Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. On today's program, we will get an update on the nursing program over at Quincy College from the Assistant Dean of Nursing, plus a student. First, though, we do check out weather and news for you. Currently in Quincy, it's cloudy, it's breezy out there, 77 degrees, mighty muggy too. At this point, we're just waiting for the rain, lots of it on the way. Showers, thunderstorms, downpours expected through the afternoon and evening hours with temperatures right around 80 degrees, very tropical feel. It'll remain wet tonight with lows drop off into the lower 60s. Tomorrow still pretty showery around, mostly in the afternoon. The morning could be okay. Tomorrow's highs right around 70 degrees. Still a little unsettled, especially Sunday morning. Should clear out later in the day on Sunday with highs in the mid-70s, and Monday looks really nice, dry, sun and clouds with highs Monday in the mid-70s. Again, 77, very sticky in Quincy right now. In the news today, the Quincy City Council has unanimously approved a resolution offered by Ward 2 City Councilor Anthony Andronico. It calls for a full accounting of how the city has used the $46.3 million in federal pandemic relief funds so far. And it also asks that the public have input into how future funds will be spent. Now, Ward 5 City Councilor Chuck Phelan says having the City Council oversee federal funds is nothing new.
Of course, a lot depends on what the legislation is. If the legislation does not allow it, obviously the mayor can do it. But even in those days when the mayor could still override the City Council was always given the budget before it would be one of our budgets that would come in at budget time. So I don't think there's not an unprecedented for this. So in the spirit of it, where this is a resolve and in the spirit of it, I would, I would be voting yes on this tonight. So I think, but there is a precedent of the City Council overviewing federal funds. In the old days, that's the way all the federal money came in, went to the City Council. So I would be in favor of Councilor Andronico's resolve.
City's already used $10 million from federal pandemic relief funds awarded to the city, plus $5 of the $10 million that was awarded to Quincy College to buy the Monroe Building and an adjacent parking lot in Quincy Center. That building's currently being used for a visitors welcome center and a gallery for the Quincy Art Association. But the mayor eventually wants to create a new home for Quincy College there and for city offices. Mayor did say he's open to providing a full accounting of how the federal money is being spent, but he does not see a need for formal public hearings. Quincy will purchase 4 hybrid police cruisers and improve energy efficiency at 5 schools with a $200,000 state grant. This past Monday, Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito came to the Hancock Adams Common in Quincy Center to announce the grant from the Green Communities Fund.
This announcement today of $8 million to 59 communities, including Quincy, allows us to partner with you so that we not only set our goals at the state level, but we work with our municipalities directly in order for us to reach our goals by becoming net zero by 2050. We could not accomplish this goal without having these plans implemented at the municipal level. So we are so grateful, and we are very pleased that you will be receiving the maximum amount of the grant of $200,000 to incorporate some of these energy efficient features into your municipal infrastructure. So congratulations to you and thank you. And finally, I just want to say we have a one-time opportunity here. The federal government is infusing dollars into the states. Municipalities have received federal ARPA funds, as well as the state and the legislature. I don't know if any of my colleagues are here, but I know that they're reviewing the governor's plan around the usage of the $5.4 billion that the federal government has distributed to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Secretary Theoharides and her team have outlined $900 million for energy and environmental investments. We could use those dollars with some of the municipal dollars to do more of what we're doing today, build out infrastructure that's resilient for decades to come, but we want to put those dollars to use. So please talk with your legislators and work with our administration so we can get those dollars literally into the hands of good mayors and municipal leaders like you to make Massachusetts more energy efficient, of course, but also resilient to the impacts that climate is having here in Massachusetts and across our country.
Quincy is one of 280 green communities that have committed to reducing municipal energy consumption by 20%. The city became a green community in 2011 and has received over $1 million in state grants for projects to increase energy efficiency in schools and municipal buildings. Well, the traffic signals at a major Quincy intersection have been changed to make it easier for pedestrians to cross. Police say the timing of the signals at the intersection of Southern Artery and C and Coddington Streets, right across from the police station, have been updated to allow pedestrians a quicker cross time. Police are urging pedestrians not to cross the intersection diagonally. They're also urging motorists to be aware of the pedestrians. Some new signs are posted there explaining the change in timing for the traffic signals. An archaeological survey will be getting underway on the grounds of the Dorothy Quincy Homestead in Quincy to try and find any remains of the original house that was built at that site. The Colonial Dames of America here in Massachusetts, which manage the homestead, say the survey will take place September 27th through October 8th. It's an effort to find any traces of the Edmund Quincy house, which was built there in 1635. The homestead that's there now at Hancock Street and Butler Road was built in 1865. The Colonial Dames say the archaeological survey will attempt to locate, identify, evaluate, and then preserve any artifacts from the original building. The results of the survey will be made public. The survey is being paid for from the Quincy Community Preservation Fund and by the state. Coming up, an update on the Quincy College nursing program. That's next. Welcome back. Happy to welcome to the program today Chris Slocum. Chris is the Assistant Dean of Nursing at Quincy College, and student nurse Roy Ramnarain is here as well to talk a little bit about their perspectives in that program, what the program offers, and what its future holds. So, gentlemen, welcome to you both. Thanks for coming over.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, pleasure. Nice to see you, Roy. Thanks for coming over as well. Chris, first of all, welcome for the first time here to QETV. Quincy College, no stranger here to the Access Studios. I know it's the first time that you and I have met, so it's great to see you.
Same here.
Yeah, and learn a little bit more about the program, which really has been a staple for Quincy College almost since inception, right?
So, it has been.
Yeah, how long have you been involved with the program?
Well, I've been here at the program since 2019.
Okay.
I started actually as an adjunct faculty, so I worked part-time working with students like Roy and the rest of the cohort in clinical sites and the skills laboratory, things like that.
Okay. So what's your background prior to that?
Well, I am a full-time actually was a full-time nurse.
Okay.
I do that part-time at a hospital setting, but before nursing, I actually worked in finance.
Really?
Yeah. It was interesting. I actually preferred working with people, but not their money.
Okay.
So.
All right. So when did the switch occur?
It's been actually quite a lot of years now. I'm starting to forget about it, but I actually became a nurse back in 2016.
Okay.
So I started that journey in about 2012.
Okay. What inspired you to make the change?
Just looking and I wanted to do something more. I was always that people person. I just wanted to do something new with my life.
Okay.
And I don't know, just one day I think I might have been watching TV and said, I really do want to do something with healthcare and,
Okay.
and with patients. And I said, that will make me an even better people person.
And has it worked?
I believe so. I can ask Roy about that to see. I hope so.
Okay. What about the transition to teaching? How did that occur?
As I was finishing my nursing education, I had noticed that I felt like we needed stronger educators in the field. And that's what put me on the path of becoming a teacher. So while I was finishing my nursing degree, I said to myself, I really do want to be a teacher. That's going to be my goal. So it took some time, and I began doing that in 2019 officially and continuing my education. And then I ended up here today.
Okay, so here you are telling the community about your story. Yeah. Has teaching been what you thought it would be? I mean, when you first got into nursing, compared to now?
I almost actually thought it was going to be pretty simple.
Okay.
That it would just be teaching a class,
Right.
telling everybody what I know. But then I realized through my education that there was a lot more to learn. There's a lot more structure and framework required in order to educate the students.
Do you think it's made you a better nurse?
I believe so,
Yeah.
because I take what I'm teaching students sometimes and I actually bring it back with myself when I'm working with patients directly. So sometimes I find myself, the things that I work with Roy on in the classroom, I end up actually then educating a patient on later that same day.
They say that teachers learn the most from their students.
Yes,
And-
I certainly have.
Yeah. Tell me about the two career paths in nursing at Quincy College, right?
So yes,
Yep.
so I'm glad you asked. So Quincy College offers two paths. One of them is an RN-focused program, which takes about 2 years.
Okay.
So it takes 4 semesters. You get a summer off in between, and when you're done, you actually would receive a degree, an associate level degree in science in the nursing program.
Okay.
The other program, which actually can launch you into practice quickly, is our LPN certificate program, which
Okay.
takes about 10 months to complete. It starts in September, and you basically graduate in June.
Okay. All right. And can you break it down for me as to the number of students at each program?
So right now we have approximately, in the entire program for the RN, both the first year and the second year, there is a total of about close to 100 students.
Okay.
The numbers it varies a little bit there from semester to semester when we bring in new students. And then the practical nursing program, and those numbers are across both campuses.
Oh, okay. Quincy and Plymouth.
Yep,
Okay.
Quincy and Plymouth. And then for the practical nursing program, there is about 25 this particular semester.
Okay. So is that good, would you say? Is there room for more?
There's always room for more.
Okay.
There's definitely always room for more
Okay.
students.
And there's certainly a need for nurses now, right? Which
There
has
is.
been revealed more than ever during the pandemic.
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
There was always a talk of, is there a nursing shortage?
Yep.
And I think the pandemic has actually almost proven to us that there definitely is a nursing shortage.
I think probably nurses who were on the verge of retiring maybe decided to,
Yep.
And do you think people are questioning, gee, I wonder if I really want to get into that career given what's going on right now in the world?
Yeah, that has been, nursing students and people, individuals thinking about if they want to go into nursing. The pandemic has really said to them, that's all they ever talk about is
course.
nurses and nursing shortage. Do I want to do this?
Right. At the same time, they are the ones who are going to eventually pull us out of this because they are really the frontline workers.
Yes, we definitely are.
Yes.
One of the part of the team.
Well, for sure, yeah. So tell me about where do the graduates go, after the programs at Quincy College? What can they do?
Well, you could do just about anything right at the moment. I like to joke in the beginning and tell students, I go, you could be a nurse on a cruise ship.
Okay.
Maybe not the best place to be right now. However, I don't use that line anymore so much because that's kind of a hot topic at the moment.
Right, yeah.
But you literally could do whatever you want to do. I used to think that you could only work in a hospital. Like that's where the gold standard was. And that was my goal originally. But then I said I want to be a teacher. But then I could take those and I can be a teacher just about anywhere. I can be a leader in education in a community with nursing. I can do it in a hospital setting. I could come to a college like Quincy College, which is where I'm at now.
Right.
You can go just about anywhere, even working in the community, community health centers. It's literally limitless.
Okay. Where have some of the graduates that have gone through your class gone?
So many of the graduates went on the same path I did,
Yeah.
that they wanted to work in a hospital. And the reason why is many of the South Shore hospitals, hospitals along the South Shore and in Boston and all over the state have awesome new graduate programs for nurses. So many of the nurses want to go into hospitals, everywhere down to Cape Cod, up to Boston, and even all the way out to Worcester.
So would they be actually an LPN upon graduation if they follow the practical program?
Yes.
Yes.
When they
Okay.
finish the certificate program,
Yep.
they would get a certificate for completing in the college.
Okay.
And then they would be able to sit and write, we call it, for the NCLEX, which
Yes.
is our board certification program for
Okay.
nurses. Very similar to the same one that Roy will be sitting for come May.
Okay.
When he graduates.
Okay.
But yes, they would be an LPN upon being able to finish to take their boards, and they could begin to start working in
Yep.
the community.
And what about the graduates with the associate's degree?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Yep, it's just an educational level difference.
I
It's
see.
just the difference between a certificate program to being an associate college degree.
Okay. And if they wanted to go on to be an RN, they could do that as well?
They can do that.
Okay.
Yep, they absolutely can.
So lots of opportunities,
Tons.
a lot of availability too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Roy, let's get your story if we can. Tell me a little bit about how you came to nursing and Quincy College.
Well, I started off as a pharmacy technician. I started working in retail pharmacy back in 2013,
Okay.
and I've been doing that ever since.
So you're still doing that?
I'm still doing that, yeah. And throughout my years, I would come across patients. They come and go. You don't really get their full story. You get to listen to them complain about their doctors and nurses. You get to hear about their insurance issues and all that. And I guess throughout the years, I've always, tried to go like above and beyond like what I could do for them in the pharmacy setting. But now I want to do more. I want to be more hands-on with the patients. So I decided that, going to a nursing program would be the best bet. And throughout the years, I've even learned a lot more about health science with all the prerequisites that are required. Like we take microbiology, anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, biology, general biology, and just learning about all that. It's really created a great foundation to start the nursing program. And I'm actually just really excited for it to be done. So I can,
sure. I'm sure.
start working
Yeah.
and, get more hands-on with the patients that I encounter. I was thinking about where I would want to go. Like you were talking about, where do the graduates go?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about, maybe doing community health or working in a healthcare clinic.
Like a man at
Yeah,
Quincy or
yeah,
something?
exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because, I would like to have an impact on my community.
Okay.
And then maybe down the road advance to become a family nurse practitioner. That would
Really?
be my end goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is kind of one step away from being a doctor, right?
Practically.
All right. Why Quincy College, Roy? What was it that attracted you?
It was closer.
Yeah.
And convenient from where I live. I live in Dorchester.
Okay.
And it's just a quick commute. It's easy to get to class, especially in the mornings where you're going against traffic.
Sure, yes.
And you watch everyone on the other side of the road sitting in traffic,
Right.
and then the same way going back.
Okay.
So I mean, it's always been convenient, and even the fact that they're right across from the train station.
Yep.
There have been times where I didn't have my car, and so just quick hop on the red line and I was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how has it been? How's the experience been for you at Quincy?
If I could sum it up in one word, I would say transformative.
Really?
Because graduating high school, I didn't really go to college right out of high school. I graduated back in 2012.
Okay.
And I just worked retail pharmacy since then. And I was a great student in high school, but when you're in high school, everything is read the book, know the answer, take the test, put it on the test. The nursing program is more transformative, where you start thinking more critically, and it just changes your study habits, your social skills, and everything. So yeah, it's been transformative.
And it's more hands-on, is it not?
And it's more hands-on,
It's not so much,
definitely.
rote memory,
Yeah.
regurgitating information.
Exactly.
You get to work with.
We have these simulation labs where we would watch and read about different clinical skills,
Yeah.
and then Chris sets up these simulation labs with the mannequins, and you walk in and the patient can be going through hypoglycemia, and you just use those skills and you address and you simulate what you would do for a real patient. And I think learning hands-on is even better than just reading from the book and ticking off the boxes.
Right.
Yeah.
Has the pandemic changed your kind of impression of the nursing profession?
Well, I would say everyone knows that nurses are understaffed, but going to school throughout the pandemic has really solidified that because we actually helped out with Manet Community Health Center when they had their COVID vaccine clinic.
Yep.
And we met a lot of nurses who actually came out of retirement to help, give out the vaccines.
Sure.
So I would, say nursing as a profession, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But it's,
It sounds very fulfilling. I mean, it sounds like
fulfilling,
you've
that's
already,
the word,
you've
yes,
already
very
fulfilled
fulfilling, yes.
kind of one of your main goals was to have an impact on your community. So, even as a student.
Yeah, and you guys definitely did. The students had a huge impact
Sure.
in the community, seeing hundreds of people a day
Yeah.
from around the Quincy area and all the surrounding communities coming in.
Yeah, in many ways, Chris, not being a pandemic, they would never have had that experience.
Correct.
Right? So,
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
certainly not to say it was a good thing, but there was an opportunity there that wouldn't have existed to give
Exactly.
them kind of hands-on experience. So I'm sitting in here with two nurses, men who are nurses, which is it still unusual, Chris? I mean, is it a good mix?
Well, to a certain extent,
Okay.
It still seems unusual at times. Some people look at that as an unusual situation.
Yeah.
There still does happen where when I walk into a patient's room, they'll say, "Oh, honey, I got to hang up. The doctor's here to see me." And I say, "Not the doctor. I'm your nurse." Say, "Oh, how could you be the nurse? That's interesting."
Yeah.
So,
Does it depend on the patient's age too?
it sometimes does.
Yeah.
It sometimes does.
Yeah.
But
You say, no, it's better.
Yeah.
It's the nurse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, it is still a little bit unusual at times. However, today, it's becoming more diverse.
Yes.
Just in general at Quincy College. That was one thing I did want to mention
Yeah.
too, is that at the college we have a diverse student population.
Okay.
And I think Roy can also attest to that too. Across the classes, it's a very diverse student population. But what I did like is typically most programs, when you look back at statistics over the years, men in nursing would account for less than 5%
Really?
of programs.
Wow.
Sometimes you would have a student find themselves as the only male in the class. And that can feel challenging, it can feel daunting, it can, they feel separated from everybody and they don't feel like they belong sometimes.
Yes.
But in the hospital setting it was really interesting. I've had several patients recently say, "It's wonderful to see a man
Really?
in here as my nurse." And
Okay.
I'd say, "I agree."
And I would think there's an opportunity there too for men, who may be thinking about a career change.
Oh, absolutely.
Or just a profession
Yeah.
working with people.
It's very accepting
Yeah.
now. Most of the people I work with always say the same thing. They're like, "I wish we can get some more men working in
Right.
here with us."
Right.
And not just for, they like having diversity too.
Sure.
And it's good for the patients too.
Yep. Good luck, Roy, in your NCLEX exams.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you working in the profession very soon, although you already have.
Thank you.
So, Chris, great to meet you. Appreciate the time.
Same here. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We'll take another quick break. Back to recap the forecast for you in just one moment. Welcome back. Just enough time to check the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. We've got rain on the way. It's not far, actually. It's out in the Worcester area right now. We'll have showers, storms, downpours, very muggy with temperatures right around 80 degrees. Still pretty wet tonight with a chance of a shower. Lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, still unsettled. Showers mostly in the afternoon around 70. Then Sunday, we start to see some clearing later. The high 76. Monday looks nice right now. Sunny and high 74 degrees. Thanks going out to Christopher Slocum and Roy Ramnarain for joining us today from the Quincy College Nursing Program. Thank you to our crew, and thank you for watching. Monday here on the show, it's Rick Doan from Interfaith Social Services. Don't forget, visit our website anytime. If you go to qatv.org, you'll find all of our latest programs. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and a whole lot more. For all of us here at Quincy Access Television, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.